I want to bring in the Colorado chairman of the Republican Party and also a congressman. My congressman, Ken Buck, is on the horn now. Congressman, welcome to the program, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm very good. I know you got a short time here, so let's just dive right in here. Jenna Griswold being sued by Judicial Watch because 40 out of her 64 counties have more voters registered than they have eligible voters in their counties. There's corruption going on there. The Colorado Republican Party has sued or filed a Colorado open records request with Jenna Griswold of the Secretary of State. And I'll let you kind of dive in. What was that request, and has Jenna Griswold complied?
So what happened, Jenna Griswold sent out 750,000 postcards to individuals asking them to register to vote. We received notification from a number of people that they received a postcard for a dead relative, or they received a postcard for an employee who was not a U.S. citizen. They received a postcard for an employee who was a non-resident of Colorado. So we asked Jenna Griswold for the file, the 750,000 names, and she refused to give that to us informally. So we filed, as you said, a CORA request, asked her for that, and she missed the deadline to respond to us. And now she has taken a really sort of a loophole where she can wait 2 weeks to determine if we have legal standing to request these documents. And so probably at the end of the 2 weeks, she'll make a decision on whether she's going to give these or not. But if as she says, she says she's done nothing wrong, there are just a few minor mistakes. If that's true, why not turn over the file?
So she could actually refuse to turn over the file, even with the Colorado Open Records Act. Is there recourse then if she? Because I'm guessing, because of just what we're watching with this Secretary of State, I'm guessing she's not going to comply if she doesn't have to. What's the recourse after that?
Well, we can file a lawsuit, go to court. Expensive for us, not expensive for her personally. She just has the Attorney General represent her. And we will do that if we don't get this. It's absolutely something that is discoverable. She knows that there's a deadline, that we want to know how many people and who those people are who receive this information. So if there are people who are registered to vote as a result of her sending them a postcard, if they register somebody, a dead relative, to vote and then vote 2 ballots, we want to know about that.
It seems as if this is not. Sometimes a CORA request can be multiple documents and any email containing this word or whatever. That can be complex. This is just a mailing list. She should be able to print out the Excel spreadsheet or whatever database she uses and say, these are the 750,000 people that I sent this to. It doesn't seem like this is a real one to comply with if you have a willingness to be transparent and comply.
Absolutely, Jimmy. And obviously, she used a mail house to send out 750,000 postcards. She didn't have people in the Secretary of State's office, handwriting out addresses. So she forwarded a file, Excel or some format, to a mail house to get this done. She still has that file in the Secretary of State's office. It's a matter of 5 minutes of work in having someone transfer that file to the attorney for the Colorado GOP.
Jenna Griswold is being sued by Judicial Watch for 40 of 64 counties have more voters registered in those counties than they actually have eligible people that could register to vote. So she's being sued by Judicial Watch now. She's denying the CORA request from the Colorado Republican Party, at least delaying it at this point. And then she had to issue an apology last week because she told the media, don't report the winners of the election until my guy wins or my people win. And then she had to apologize for infringing upon people's free speech. Have we ever seen in Colorado in recent days such a partisan and perhaps someone bent towards, I guess, corruption is all I can say. Have we ever seen a Secretary of State like this in Colorado, at least in recent years?
Well, Jimmy, I have to tell you, I think you really put your finger on it. We have not seen as partisan a Secretary of State. She clearly has ambitions for higher office, for other office. And she's using this Secretary of State position to really reach out to her base and solidify her position with the base, the liberal base of the Democrat Party. And I think it's clear that it is affecting her judgment. And no, Wayne Williams, who was our Secretary of State, stayed out of politics for the most part. Obviously, he ran in a partisan race, but he did not get involved in these kinds of issues and draw attention. And it almost feels like you're walking into a courtroom with a judge who's a relative of the attorney on the other side of the case. It just is not a fair situation.
Hey, well, real quick, I know you got to run here in just a second, but I want to ask you, is there something the average voter out there that's frustrated with their Secretary of State? She's a taxpayer-employed person. Is there something the average person could be doing to try to persuade or convince Jenna Griswold to stop the corruption and stop the secrecy?
Well, I think there is. I don't have the Secretary of State email address or phone line or physical address, mailing address, but I think people should complain to the Secretary of State if they feel that this is unfair. She's the one counting the votes, and she's acting partisan, and that is not reassuring to people.
Yeah, she's got that file, 750. All you want to do is know if she sent, how many of those people in the 750 that are dead have moved away actually ended up registering because of that list. It's an easy file to do. Real quick, in 60 seconds, Ken Buck is my guest. Congressman Ken Buck, also the chairman of the Colorado GOP. Ken, in 60 seconds, obviously a very important election nationally, but across the state, we have a lot of state House seats and state Senate seats up and some other things going on in the state of Colorado. Give us your pulse, the heartbeat kind of a checkup. How's the Republican Party looking on the state level?
I am amazed at the energy that is out there. We have over 5 million voter contacts now in the last 6 months. 5 million that people who have been touched one or more times. And I have to tell you, I'm just really impressed with the volunteer effort, the coordinated effort between the Trump campaign and the Gardner campaign and the state party. I think we stand a really good chance of getting really fine state senators, state legislators elected, and that's so critical here in Colorado. We have to make sure that Jared Polis doesn't go off the rails to the left, and that we keep him honest.
Yeah. Ken Buck, always a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on. I know you're limited on time, but God bless you, my friend. Thanks for hopping on, and I appreciate you. I really do. Ken Buck, my guest on News Talk 600 KCOL.